Happy Saturday, Juventini. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Alberto. It's March 11th. I got all this morning's news surfacing around Juventus. Am I smiling? Absolutely, I'm smiling because we got some big news about the Figc's appeal on the TAR ruling to hand over this note, apparently from Figc, to Juventus. We're going to talk about what the Council of State decided, and I'm going to give you the details, and we're going to talk about where we go from here. We're going to talk about a new target at fullback for Juventus, then the futures of Rovella, Ranocchia, Lucci, and of course, Max's presser ahead of the game tomorrow against Sampdoria. So let's get into it. All right, everybody, first and foremost, if you enjoy the content, please like the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel. It all helps. Now, let's get to the news. I want to start off by talking about Mourinho, okay? Mourinho and his two-match ban, which, of course, he appealed. This should have been an immediate dismissal on the appeal based on the actions that transpired. However, make no mistake about it, this was yet another action by the Figc which continues to fuel this anti-Juve agenda and this Juve is always favored agenda that is out there by having him be on the bench for the Roma-Juventus game. Now, separate from that, Juventus should have no bearing on the game. Juventus should have won that game. However, they couldn't get the job done. But these actions that the Figc takes continue to make this league look like a joke. This dismissal of the appeal now, which should have happened immediately based on what Mourinho actually did, didn't take place. He was on the bench. Now, all of a sudden, he could face a two-match ban. It is a joke, and it fuels this anti-Juve agenda and everything, and it makes people believe that Juve is always favored, so the league's going against it to stop it and whatnot. It is a joke, okay? It's an absolute joke. So again, Figc doing a wonderful job of making this league look like an absolute joke, all right? Keeping with the Figc, their appeal against TAR's ruling to keep this secret note, okay, this document away from Juventus, has been rejected by the Council of State. That's right. So Juventus will get this document in hand. Why is this document so important? Because it is believed to be the document that is between Figc and the Figc about the investigations on these clubs for plusvalenza and everything. If it is in fact this document that's believed to be from 2021, this would make everything fall out of the legal time frame for the investigations and everything that's going on, and this would make it null and void. This would see Juventus winning. This would see Juventus getting their 15 points back. What does it mean for the salary case, which is completely separate? It sets a precedent and it helps, but we would not be out of the woods completely on that front. But this is big, and there's a reason the Figc's prosecution, Cine, has been fighting tooth and nail and relentlessly to keep it away from Juventus. This leads me to believe that it is in fact this document that Juve believes it to be. All right, now, if it is, I hope Elkan and Juve's lawyers and everybody fight back relentlessly. Countersuits everything. Make the league pay, all right, because the damage is already done. These guys are clowns. They're a joke. They're running the league into the mud, and they have to be exposed. And you know what? As much as it sucks to say, as we are a part of the league, they have to. This can't go unnoticed, and Juve must fight back, because all of this over and over and over, the drama, the investigations, the scandals, the nonsense that Juve has to go through, enough is enough. I hope we fight back. Now, enough of that. We're now going to talk about Valentin Barco. He is the latest name to be added to the list of fullback targets for Juventus. He has a 10 million euro release clause. Again, plays for Boca Juniors. This is the kind of move that would make sense to me for Juventus in terms of what we were going to try to do. We're going to try to work on the cheap. Despite the fact that we're getting good news now in terms of our points and getting everything, we're still not out of the woods yet, and there's still a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen. But we also have a lot of positions that are going to need to be filled, and we have very little that we can afford to sell in terms of assets. And we have players coming back that might be tough moves too. Look for Juventus to work on the cheap, so this deal might fit that. All right, now in terms of Rovella, Ranocchia, and Lucci, Gazzetta reporting something we already know, which is that those players are going to return in the summer, go through summer camp with Juventus. However, they were saying Do not be surprised if any of those three are sold if Max Allegri remains, because he prefers a robust midfielder. Now, do not lose your minds if you don't want us to sell this young talent or anything like that. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. We always say that. I lay it out for you to play it out. However, we did see that this past summer, Max passed on Rovella to bring in Paredes, who would be considered a more robust midfielder. However, he's also working with Maretti and Fagioli, who are definitely not robust midfielders. So again, take everything with a grain of salt. This does not mean we're going to sell all three or potentially any of those three players. Wait and see what happens in the summer camp, okay? But yeah, let's not jump on this one too quick. They are going to return. We'll see how they do in the summer camp. All right. Now, in terms of Max Allegri and his presser ahead of the Sampdoria game tomorrow, it is as follows. I love that he kicks things off with tomorrow we could go to second in the standings. Scream that from the rooftops, Max, okay? I absolutely love it because it only matters what happens sul campo. And make no mistake that the Council of State rejecting the FIGC's appeal should provide a lift to these players. They should feel like they're on the edge of getting back what is theirs. And I love that Max continues to make these statements because it is in fact true. Sul campo, we would be second place. We got to get the job done against Sampdoria. As far as players go, he says Perin and Vlahovic will play. Outside of that, he doesn't really shine a big light on anything, and we know Max likes to keep his lineups a secret, but he says Pogba is available. We know that, and we know he has the potential to start in this one. De Chilio and Ailing Jr. are back on team list, okay? Chiesa being withdrawn, he is held out because he still has a little bit of discomfort, but we know he has diverted injury, all right? Campagnon will be called up from Juve next gen. Bonucci, he says he initially planned to play him and start him in this game, but then Sandro went out on Thursday against Freiburg injured, so we don't know what's going to happen at center back position. In the midfield, Max says he's going to have to make a decision between Barnechea and Paredes, so he's keeping his cards close to his chest in terms of the actual lineup. Do expect rotation as we are going to go in the second leg in Germany against Freiburg. We have the 1-0 advantage, but still a lot of work to do. We'll know more about the lineup and everything tomorrow morning when we're live getting ready for this one at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. But depending on where you are, Europe, whatnot, it is going to be an hour earlier from when you usually join us because we are going to go through a time change over here in North America. All right, so keep that in mind. Till tomorrow morning, you know the drill. Drop in the comment section everything you think, feel, any questions, comments, opinions about what you just heard today in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning on the live as we get ready for this one. And I will bring you a watch along for the action. Fino alla fine, forza Juve. Ciao tutti.